A family of 4 in New Jersey needs $6,104 a month just to cover the basics. A family of 4 in New Jersey needs $6,104 a month just to cover the basics. That's before savings, retirement, vacation, home repairs, or anything that makes you feel like you're in more than survival mode. This is an article by E.J. Johnson on WPG Talk Radio. And let's see how he breaks this down, because I've seen him talk about this on 1015. So it starts out by saying that New Jersey costs 12% more than the national average to live in. And for a single person, you need about $2,772 per month. And he gives the 10 costs that make New Jersey one of the most expensive states in America. And the first one, of course, is property taxes. The highest in the nation, New Jersey's effective property tax rate is 1.77%, which is more than double the national average of 0.89%. And he points out that Trenton's been promising reform for decades without delivering it. Next is housing costs. We are 32% above the national average. The median home price in New Jersey is $584,000 and the median is $447,000. The average rent for a one-bedroom statewide comes to $2,084 a month. Next is car insurance. We're also among the highest in the nation. The average annual auto insurance premium in New Jersey is $3,414. The national...
Listen, move out of Jersey. Why are y'all in Jersey? Jersey, New York, everywhere close to there. There's no point in living there. I don't understand how people afford it there. It's not like their minimum wage is extremely high. It's not. Move.
Average is $1,258. Tolls. I just talked about this one the other day. The Garden State Parkway, the New Jersey Turnpike, the Delaware River bridges, the commuter crossings. New Jersey drivers pay tolls constantly and the rates keep going up. A regular commuter on the Turnpike or Parkway can pay $15 to $20 a day just to get to work and back. Coming in at number 5 is this state income tax.
No way they got to pay 15. Man, you got to work an extra hour per day. Hour or two. Or a few. Just to pay for the turnpikes. I can't stand a state that got that, man. Every state don't have that.
It's progressive and persistent, he describes it as. It's one of the top income tax rates at 10.75% for high earners, but this tax hits the middle class too, because combined with the federal taxes, New Jersey workers routinely take home significantly less in their paycheck. 6 is childcare. I'm lucky because my children are a little bit older, but I remember going through it. It's one of the top 5 most expensive in the country. Parents in New Jersey pay between $1,500 and $2,000 a month for infant care.
That's normal.
Then we've got our utility bills, where we are higher than the national average for electric, gas, and water. Number 8 is our groceries. Grocery bills in New Jersey run about 8% above the national average. The average weekly grocery spend statewide is $274. Number 9 is healthcare costs. It's above average and climbing. And then for number 10, you just got the compounding effect. When you put everything in all at once, it just breaks people. What do you think of his breakdown?
Sound like everything costs more out there.
Okay, if I rant for just a minute. Remember this guy? No, you should probably look it up. He wrote a song called Rich Men North of Richmond. Hey, why the man got so popular. Said exactly what everybody else was thinking. Typical American right now does not feel like they are heard in the slightest. And promises and promises and changes and changes and promises. And still, why am I stepping up to a gas pump over $4 a gallon? It's not even about money, but the system doesn't even feel like it's out to help a typical person anymore. Camaraderie and patriotism doesn't even feel like it's there. It feels like everything we do is lining the pockets of a politician somewhere. Joe Vaughn not long ago just came on a podcast with Rogan and said, it feels like we haven't helped anybody. How long has it been? I'm not even taking sides on red, blue. It's nothing about that. It is government, period, feels like it's not helping anybody.
When has the government ever helped anybody? We're not talking about these programs. We're not talking about none of that. We're talking about as a whole. See, we as the people keep depending on them as if they're the savior. Man, the government then pillaged the land. And people hate when I say that. They pillaged the land. They stole everything. These are some of the most, not some of, matter of fact, let me cut, the most terrible group of people. Their history, their track record is nothing positive. Why would we expect them to save us when all they ever did was destroy us as a people? That's the best way I could put it, right?
There are single moms that are struggling. There are people that are working bottom-end jobs that are struggling. And God forbid if you do anything to help yourself, because your help is taken away. You're penalized for trying to get out of the system. I still stand that America is the greatest opportunity you have to be okay. The way that we have
America is the ATM. That's it.
inflated everything is just poison. The quality of worker, you know why that has lacked punctuality? Because everybody feels like they are a hamster in a wheel and there's nothing they can do that is impactful enough to make a change. The cost of living is high and it's going up.
Buddy said a lot of things I don't agree with. America is not the greatest opportunity. There are opportunities in comparison to some other countries. Yes, we will give them that. We once had the strongest dollar. That's now declining, right? America, basically, you want to run your money up in America. Let's put it in layman terms. Run your money up in America and get out. America is not a good place. I tell that to anybody from any other country when they talk about America. I'm like, yeah, don't believe the lie. It's not how they want you to envision it at all.
Hey yo, so this how fucked up this capitalistic country of ours has got our people thinking. Let me talk to y'all real quick. So first of all, let me just say this, right? Because I know everybody on social media is fucking rich. Everybody on social media got their shit together. Cut that shit out. Let's cut that shit out right now. And we gonna get to the meat and potatoes right now. You understand what I'm saying? So first things first, because I see this debate going on Twitter, right? Let's address this. $1,500 for rent is way too fucking high. Let's just be real. Let's just cut to the chase. I don't give a fuck where you live. I don't care if you live in California. I don't care if you live in New York. I don't care if you live in Texas. I don't care if you live in Massachusetts. $1,500 for rent is way too much fucking money. Now, mind you, that is relatively cheap compared to a lot of other prices, obviously. That is why people with fucked up mentalities are saying, well, $1,500, that's cheap. No, it's not. No, the fuck it's not. It's really not. Because the average person cannot make enough to pay that kind of rent. But it ain't even just so much of that. If you have to pay $1,500 a month, your landlord or your leasing agent, whatever it is, they're going to expect you to make 3 times that every month. So basically, you have to make $4,500 a month at least to be qualified for an apartment that costs $1,500 a month. You understand what I'm saying? It is way too much. And we just talking about sometimes a fucking studio. A studio costs that much in some places. Shit, in New York City, they got fucking studios for $2,500 or better. So like I said, it's all relative. But let's be real. That's too much money. Now, why am I bringing this up, right? Why am I bringing this up? Because I see people on the internet, you know, these fucking naysayers, these fake motherfuckers out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, see, here's the thing. When people finally get in a position where they're finally doing well for themselves, their reality becomes unrealistic.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, they have lost touch with reality.
Yep.
All of a sudden, they can't seem to relate with the rest of the world, right? Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? I make good money too, but I'm not unrealistic. So here's the bottom line, right? People who are suggesting, oh, man, well, maybe you should just get a better job. Oh, well, maybe you should just do more hours at work. Maybe you should, do a side hustle and blah, blah, blah. All those people that are suggesting that, right? None of that is going to work. None of that is going to work. Because here's the catch. Every time you find yourself figuring it out, they always find a way to fuck you for it. Every single time you find yourself figuring it out, they always find a way to screw you for it. So let's go back to COVID, right? Because COVID is really the root of this whole entire ordeal that we're experiencing right now. It's not to say that the cost of living wasn't already going up before that, but it has risen extremely high since COVID, right? Now, when COVID happened, there was hundreds of thousands, even millions of people that were unemployed, right? Now, during this time period, we've had hundreds of thousands and even millions of black entrepreneurs being bred. Black entrepreneurs being established during that time because they were in the house all day and they had no choice but to be creative. People were, designing t-shirts. People were designing masks. People were just, making their own hand sanitizer. You had women becoming lash techs and weaveologists. They becoming nail techs, doing all of the above. You understand what I'm saying? Becoming entrepreneurs. And then, then they giving out PPP loans and all this other shit. What did they do? They screwed them. They screwed all of those people for figuring out how to fucking survive on the system, or figuring out how the fuck the system has been has been fucking us already for our entire lives. So stop trying to say that, oh, you should do this and you should do that, because every time you figure out a way, they just figure out a way to pull you right back down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Every time and especially our people, whenever our people figure it out, it's already too late. Once we get a hold of things, it's too late. They already got another plan. You see, they always oppressed our people. They always wanted to see us down. Now, and I'm the type of person to be like, look, it's equal opportunity if you go out there and get it. Like, people be like, they don't want to finance us or fund our businesses. It's something called credit, right? But now that we are hip to credit, what they doing is they changing the credit system. That's just one example. So I agree with this brother. I'm the same type of person that say you do need a side hustle though, because one income is too close to none. So we can debate right there. You definitely need it. I'm not going to tell you don't need it. You do. Because that one job keeps you just over broke. You got to do something on the side to be able to provide. That's a bar right there. You got to do something on the side to be able to provide, right? And then you want to have something that you can fall back on too, just in case that job go away, because we in the day and age where the job ain't promised no more. That security ain't there no more. You have more security in doing something for yourself than the job. The job can let you go as quick as they hired you, they can let you go, right? As quick as they hired you, they can fire you, right? AI going to replace everybody's jobs in the next probably 2 years, to be real. So you got to have something for yourself. Now, are they going to try to combat that and find a way to finesse us out of that too, so everybody will have to depend on UBI? Yeah. That's why self-sufficiency is next in line. I'm going to let them keep going though. But I just got to put my information where I got to capitalize off of what he's saying, and I'm going to put my input right there, right in line with it.
Every time you go up, they're going to pull you right back down. You understand what I'm saying? So the problem isn't about making more money. The problem is they have to stop raising shit. Whether it's gas, whether it's groceries, whether it's rent, whatever the fuck it is, you can only work but so much.
And that's why I said just what I said. Self-sufficiency. He talking about rent. He talking about groceries, right? So if you own the land, and when I say this, people be like, well, you still going to have land taxes. You still going to have property tax. I'm not talking about America, y'all. America's done. Babylon is falling. I'm not talking about in Babylon. I'm talking about outside of Babylon when I say these things. That's the difference. We got different perceptions. I'm not talking about in Babylon, of course. This is the Masonic agenda. This is the trap, of course. Scriptures tell us to get out of here. What you mean? Of course. We at those times. If you grow your own food, first of all, you have to have soil that's rich, that you can produce a harvest, right? So that's another topic within itself. You got to choose these specific locations, though.
You're not a robot. Stop with that mentality. Stop suggesting that people should work more or work harder. Because here's the reality. Let me tell you what my reality is, right? When I tell y'all all the time why I want to become a content creator, do y'all think I give a fuck about y'all? Respectfully. No disrespect. I don't. And I know y'all don't give a fuck about me. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all probably just want to be in my business. And that's cool. But I'd rather get paid for that shit. I'd rather get paid for that. I want to be able to get up and go whenever I want. I want to be able to get up and travel whenever the fuck I want. I don't want to be getting up and punching in nobody's clock and trying to figure out how I'm going to survive. That's not the side of the world that I want to be on.
All right, so there we go. So you speaking to somebody that's a content creator, right? Where I could do my job, my works anywhere I have Wi-Fi. That's why I advocate for that too. Do a career that you could pick up and take with you. Start your own business, start your own side hustle once again. So he's saying don't advocate for side hustles, but at the same time, he want a side hustle like being a content creator, right? See, people sound good, right? But they contradict themselves at the same time. And I ain't no shade against this brother right here. He's saying some good things, but, I'm going to put the cherry on top of that. The system is really not for us, true. That's why you have to live a life that you control, in a sense. The Most High is always the one at the top controlling everything, but you still have to put that work in, right? He said don't work harder because basically you can't outwork the system. No, it's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. I've been saying this since this channel launched. Get you a high in-demand skill that pays more. The skill will pay you more than what you'll make in an hourly wage. It's not about that hourly wage when you can make your weekly wage in 1 hour. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm so adamant about trading. It's a journey. It's going to take you a couple years. But have you ever seen the type of money that you made in a month, in an hour, or in 5 minutes? That sounds unrealistic. Sometimes I'll place a trade, I make what I would make in a month in 42 seconds. That sounds crazy. But that's the power of a high in-demand skill. People won't even believe it. You see what I'm saying? You got to figure out what you're destined to do, what you're willing to tolerate, and then you just got to stay down, right? You got to stay down for the come up throughout it all. That's all I'm going to say.